Hello, Renee Flamont here. You guys, I ended the last video talking about education and empowerment. And those two things, if that comes from your relationship with your narcissist, excellent, which is how I responded to the relationship with the narcissist, the last one. And the education leads you to empowerment, right? But other than that, I want to make it clear, I think their behavior is so problematic that other than education and empowerment, absolutely nothing good can come out of a relationship with one of these cretins. Not, you may have children with one, of course, that's good too. There are things that you can look to your life and say, this happened in my life because I knew them, this was a result, the result is something I love, your kids, your house, your job, your career, those good things. But I'm talking about between the narcissist and you, there is nothing good that will ever be. They're not genuine people. So it took a long time to remember this, or learn this, but once I always remind myself, even the good times are bad because it's manipulation. They're doing it to butter us up for later when they committed an infraction. The love bombing makes them feel powerful because they watch you swoon. You don't think they like that? They have an ego. Of course they do. They see you sitting there, oh my God, oh, I got her right where I want. I mean, please. They must love it when we swoon. Watching us fall, and if they can get us to fall, is the game for them. It's the game for them. And the more difficult and standoffish and you're not ready for a relationship and I'm not into this right now, you say, they're going to take that as a challenge, as a duel. So they're going to use it. And I want to say the point of this is that being that it's so problematic, and we're going to get into this in a second, yet we stay and we try. We try. With a problematic person, we put in all this effort. It's a So what are we doing? Hanging in there. This video is going to attempt to call out their behaviors, have us look right in the face of the terrible, and then express to you, hopefully this video, how astonishing it is that we accept it. Please take it all in and see yourself or your story as terrible treatment also, even if you're still in it. I want you to know it's terrible. I don't want you in a brain fog, like we discussed Monday, talking about you thinking this is normal, or this is just the way it goes, or this is just him, he does a lot of other good things. Stop. I want you to at least admit and look at it and tell yourself it's terrible, because then that may lead you to wanting to understand it and maybe look it up and maybe watch videos and learn and get educated and then empowered. I'm wanting perhaps, I guess, to give your system a jolt. Maybe the jolt needed to help you see your truth and your situation around you. Not what you think it is, not what you want it to be, not what it used to be, not what you're hoping for it to be, praying for it to be, waiting for it to be again. I want you to see your truth as it is around you now. And we should all be horrified when we look at the behaviors that they do. Horrified at the behaviors alone, let alone that we stay with those behaviors. We stay with those behaviors. We stay with the behaviors. And you know, if you don't, you may have already had a jolt and you might see clearly, but you might be holding out admitting it to yourself. I want to ask specifically, like, do we think it's okay that they carry on with several different people at once? Let's just take the basic. Do we think that's okay? Because my answer is no. Unless you're in an open relationship whatever's for whomever, carrying on with them all the way, yet we stay through it again and again and again. Stay through it. I think of that now. You're clearly giving me a message that you don't want me. You're clearly giving me a message that you don't value me. You're clearly giving me a message that you could take or leave my company. So go be with the other people. That's how I would handle it now. Not hanging onto his pants crying as he's walking away. I didn't do that. That's just a visual. But you know what I mean? Like, I always think of the visual hanging onto the bumper of someone's car and being dragged away. That's what we're doing. They're dragging us and we're holding on. Why are we holding on? This behavior of behind someone's back, carrying on with several different people at once, is not something I accept for myself. It's a parameter I set, a boundary, which I thought I had said it before. Yet I kept company with this cat after I found out that this happened. Why? Well, we know why. Trauma bond, cognitive dissonance, love bombing, hamster wheel, we know why. But I want you to see it. I want you to see how bad the behavior is. I want you to see it and feel it. What about, not only was he carrying on with several people, not just sleeping around, they call it. No. Promising all of them the moon. Promising them the same house they promised you. Promising them the same marriage they just told you. Telling them they're going to be on a pedestal. Well, you're already on it. You're going to share it with them, I guess, is the narcissist plan. They're saying all the same things. That kills me. What? I remember I even said to him when I was in the thick of it, and you guys might have felt this. I said, do you say, and I said, do you say these specific things? I bet you do. Like, you're feeling that way, like way in the beginning when there was a new He said, oh, well, you say anything you have to get them to, oh, yeah. He was triangulation 101. But then he also tried to tell me the lie. But I don't say this, though, and I don't say that, though, right? But he's like, yeah, no, you say I love you. You say whatever you have to do. So they're doing that out there in the world. Is that okay? Is that okay? Problematic behavior, we stay anyway. I don't think it's okay. What about if they have a baby with someone else while they're with you? We've all seen it. It's in our audience. We all know people that's happened to. Is that okay? I don't think that's okay. I think that would be a deal breaker. Call me nuts. The betrayal was there that they slept with someone. Now you're finding out that there's a child. What if you have children? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh my God, now you have to, there's a sibling there to your child, children, child, whatever. So you have to find some way to coexist. Are you out of your mind? Yeah, we stay. People stay. It's a horrible thing, can you imagine? And some of you have dealt with it. What about, do we think it's okay that they tell everyone who knows you mean things about you, including your job, family, and friends? I used in the last video the example of, you're going out, on Monday's video that I talked about, you're going out to like a wedding and you're dressed up and they insulted you or fought with you or devalued you in some way on the way that you can't snap out of it. You're in a funk, you're at the table, they're over there and they're holding court and everyone's laughing and they're like, well, what's wrong with, let's use my name. I did the same thing in the last one. What's wrong with Renee? This didn't happen to me, but, well, actually, I'm sure it has. I wouldn't even have known. And people say, what's wrong with Renee? And your narcissist, oh, I don't know what's wrong with her. You know her. Could be anything. Could be her coffee. Could be her. And they believe them. So that later, they're all set up for the flying monkeys and the smearing when they say, well, we broke up. You saw how she could be. It's a wedding, a joyous occasion, and Renee's at the table all night sulking for no reason. They don't know what he did to you on the way. Is that okay? I don't think that's okay. Ever, to ever happen, even one time, I don't think that's okay, ever. If a human being behaves that way, I don't like them. I don't like you. To use 5-year-old language on the playground, I don't like you. You throw sand at people. I don't like you. I'm not playing with you anymore. I don't think it's a nice way to be. Call me crazy again. It's problematic, it's treacherous, it's horrific, and yet we stay. I marvel. I want us horrified. 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 Is it okay that they pop in and out of our lives like we're some kind of to-go food place? Like the drive-through place? Is that okay? You just pop in and out whenever you want to see me? I was watching the Ted Bundy, one of the many documentaries on him. That's what he did with that girlfriend he had. Popped in and out with her. Now, whatever he was, and that died. I'm not getting into Ted Bundy, but the whole time watching it, I'm like, oh my God, it's just like a narcissist. They fall off the face of the earth. You don't hear from them for months and months and months. They come back, and you're their everything in your world. And you know me, I was just busy and never stopped thinking about you for 1 second. In and out of your life. Is that okay? I think that's horrible. I'd rather you just stay out. You can't count on someone like that. You can't bet on them. You can't even call someone like that if you get a flat tire. That's not even the person that you're thinking of calling. They're nowhere to be found when you're down in the dumps. They're nowhere to be found if you're in a crisis. They're nowhere to be found. They take. Is any of this okay? They call you names. Is that okay? They fight with you. They disrespect you. Is any of that okay? And I'm thinking no. My favorite is when they try to make you jealous. Try to make you think you're insane and jealous. You ask a question, you know something's brewing, you know it. And you ask, and they tell you you're nuts for asking, and they are secretly happy that you know because they want you jealous. They love that. They love it. Triangulation 101, gaslighting 101. Is that okay? Is this behavior okay? No! Right, Min? She's very tired today. But no, it's not okay. At all, to have done to you one time, not 10 times, not 3 times. He said he's going to change, not 487 times, not 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, 1 year, or 1 month. The minute anyone does any of the aforementioned, no, it's problematic behavior, and we stay anyway. We gotta work on ourselves and get out. We gotta get out. And we know, Renee, a lot of no's in one sentence. We know the whole time that all of these things are horrific, that everything happening is awful. Yet we excuse their actions over and over and over again. To other people, we excuse their actions to ourselves. I tell you, I am still in awe of what I accepted. I really am. And you should be too. And that's the point of this video. And just because you've been accepting it, if you are one that you're like, yep, I know it's all awful. Just because you've been accepting it doesn't mean you can't bring that all of a sudden to a screeching halt. Don't want to cause problems for you and whatever. But I mean some of those things you can control. You can control your reaction and not be gaslighted. You can control your reaction and not be gaslighted. They'll do it, but not react more insane when they call you insane. They're doing that to make you insane so that they have evidence to call you insane. Do you understand what I mean? So don't respond. You're insane. Yep, I know. I'm insane. But you get infuriated. I used to flip out. And he knew it. So, of course, he always called me that. So now I'm acting like a lunatic. So now he even has evidence of it in his narrative wherever he is on the earth. Oh, you had to see her. She was a lunatic. She was a lunatic. I was. Incident 0, how he got me there, all of that is not in the story. I'm just a lunatic. But you can control that. and save yourself that strife. Don't give him the evidence. The triangulation, they're going to do it anyway. He tried to make me jealous. I can't say don't get jealous, because jealous happens or it doesn't. I can't say that. But if you had the self-control to not react, that would kill them. They're trying to bug you when they're trying to make you jealous with somebody else. I should have said, oh yeah, all right, well, she can have you for a night. I'll get a night off. That's what I should have said any of the times he tried to make me pardon me, jealous with somebody else. I should have just said, yeah, go for it. Or I should have, at the same party where he would do that, I'd say, go ahead. I want to see if you, go ahead. I'll wait. I'll watch. Play with it. I'm being facetious, but you know what I mean. There are certain things you can put a screeching halt to. Don't endanger yourself. That's not what I'm wanting for anybody. That's not what I'm wanting for anybody. I feel like when we know their behavior is problematic and we stay anyway, that to me is the most concise, that phrase. Their behavior is problematic, but we stay anyway. That to me is the most concise little phrase about us. Because it doesn't say anything about them. They have a disorder. They'll always have problematic behavior. So their sentence, the beginning of their sentence is, I'm the cause and I represent problematic behavior. The end of theirs is which one of us is going to stay. They'll find someone. So are you going to be that someone? So when you know now that, okay, their behavior is problematic, yet we stay, when I started to look at that, I thought, okay, can't change his behavior. I can change the second part of the sentence and not stay. He can have problematic behavior all day long. I'm not interested in fixing him. I'm not interested in being his friend and see how he makes out in life. I know the end of his story. I don't have to stick around and find out. And I don't want his kind of person in my world. They're shady, manipulative, calculating, cunning, con artists. Really is what they are when you boil it right down. They're no better than the simple gypsy con artists. They used to be the gypsies on the side of the road, right? And they try to take your money with a little scheme they had. That's what they are. Not good enough for me. But if you're in it, I at least want you to swallow your truth. That's it. Look around and see it. That's what it is. It's not getting better. It's not going away. He's not going to suddenly stop. This is your plate that you have in front of you. So if you choose to stay in it, that's your thing. But I want you horrified every darn time something happens. I want you horrified. I don't want you living under a blanket and not knowing what's going on. None of these things are okay that we mentioned, and there are a million more. And this leads to the topic that we just discussed about how they leave us warped inside. You go through this was Monday's video. You go through a relationship and all of these things are happening to you. You're all twisted up, yet you stay. I don't want you twisted up. I want you to see it black and white. This is horrible. None of it's acceptable. None of it is okay at all. Not even a little, not even one time. So if you have a desire to remain, the reason I want you horrified is because I don't want you in the dark anymore, and you'll start to get a little bit more control inside when they're trying to convince you something's good that they did, or that it was your fault that they did it, or that's also my favorite. It's your fault that they stepped out on you because you don't do this or that or whatever. The next time that happens, you'll know inside, this guy's out of his mind. You'll start to look at them differently. You'll start to look at them differently. The behavior is problematic. Nothing but problematic. And I want you horrified so that you wake out of the fog and maybe watch these videos and get the empowerment and get the education. Because I don't want your self-esteem down anymore. And if you're with a narcissist, that's where our self-love is like obliterated by them. I really thank you guys for watching. I hope you heed this advice and take stock in your life and look at your situation and realize what's happening in front of you. Thank you so much again. Please go ahead and hit sub, like, and share. I haven't said that in a while, but I would love to see our numbers surge. We've never had a surge. We go up every day by one or whatever. I've loved our growth, but it would be very interesting. So I'm saying it today because I forgot the last couple times. I'll see you guys next time.